Dunk here, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a weekly update right now. I'm going to go over a few things, including some airdrops or claims that I'm involved with, some regular automatic investments that I do in crypto, how I've been using things like burn utilities to help lower the supply of a project that I'm involved with, as well as gain additional utility, and much more. So make sure that you stick around until the end of this video. If you could do me a favor, just smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that bell. It really does tell the algorithm to show these videos to more people so they can learn different ways that they can make passive income with DeFi like I'm showing you. And just as a reminder, I am not a financial advisor. I do not give financial advice. Please always do your own research. So first off, there were some KPIs for a project that I'm involved in called Gary Club, and there's an airdrop or a claim that's coming only if we meet our certain KPIs. And if you don't know what a KPI is, it is a key performance indicator. And if you know anything about Web3 or DeFi, you need to hit these metrics. Otherwise, your project really kind of looks dead. It doesn't have momentum. And if people aren't using your tokens, if people aren't using your economy, then the economy basically can die out. And that's not what we want. We want healthy economies in Web3. There is a DAO for Gary Club, and you can go to gary.club in order to access that DAO. And in the DAO, we voted on what we wanted to have our key performance indicators to be. And those include things like the amount of Gary locked, and the coin is Gary. That is the utility token for the Gary coin economy. So you can see it here on Bird's Eye, and there has been a lot of healthy buys and sells, people providing liquidity. So it is a healthy token, and it's been around for a while. And the thing that I really like about tokens like this is ones that aren't just trying to pump up and then exit. It's actually a token that's trying to really build some utility and use cases over the long haul. So I believe that it will be here in years to come and be one of those key tokens on the Solana blockchain. And we can go down all these different targets. I'd recommend you just join the school. You can go to school.com/Gary Club in order to join the Gary Club school. I would just say make sure that you are interacting, comment, introduce yourself in that school, because if you're not involved within the first 7 days, then you're just going to be purged from the group. You could always rejoin, but we're just making sure that the people that are in there are actually active and engaged in what we're talking about, and we're all about making money with crypto. And then we have our target, and again, you can come over here and see that right here, what it currently is. And if you don't know what that stands for, it just stands for fully diluted market cap. As you can see, as of this post 5 days ago, we hit that already, and we've already gone beyond that. And then also trading volume, that has been met. And then there is the liquidity target. The liquidity is actually held over here at Radium. So if you would like to provide liquidity for this project, you can go do that at Radium. Just search for Gary. There are different pools there. The main one that you want to focus on is the standard one, because that's the one that the project is focusing on. If you're not familiar with how liquidity pools can make you passive income with DeFi, the main thing is you actually get trading fees when somebody buys and sells the coin because you're providing the liquidity. And sometimes people even provide a secondary reward, but not all the time. But at the very minimum, you are getting trading fees every time somebody buys and sells. And when it's a standard pool, you're not going to fall out of your position. If what I'm saying sounds like Greek to you, that's okay. You could always just go over to DeFiEarner.com. I have a whole bunch of resources there that are going to be able to help you get you started making passive income with DeFi. I love learning different ways to make passive income with DeFi, and I want to share as many of them with you. This is actually an old post, and this actually has been met. Now, there's also one more indicator, which is trading volume. And since this post was actually 5 days old, this indicator has already been met. So all of these actually are met right now. And as long as they don't dip before the end of the month, what's going to happen is that everybody that holds different assets within this ecosystem are going to be able to claim their share of 250,000 Gary, which again is the token for the ecosystem. Now, if you want to maximize the amount that you're going to get in this airdrop, these are the different things that you could acquire or stack up in order to get a bigger share of the airdrop. And they all fluctuate depending on what the floor price is for these different assets. So you could go and buy a draft, which is Draft Tower, and that is available over here on Tensor, or you could also go to Magic Eden and pick one up. You can buy an OG, which OG is part of this same collection, but it has this white background and there's far less of them. And some people have sold theirs, some people are still holding them. I hold an OG as well. You could also lock Gary, and again, that is over at gary.club. You can lock it up in the DAO right here, locking up Gary, and then you could deposit it into the DAO and then vote. Then there's stackers. Stackers are a little bit different. They're a different collection. There's only 50 of them that exist, and they were originally used as a way to fund different communities coming into the ecosystem. Like I have my own utility token, Dunk, and other people had them as well, and this was a way to bring people in, and it's kind of pivoted into a different type of structure, but I've gotten a whole bunch of perks just for holding a stacker, which is pretty cool. Then there's also bags, which is another token. Then there's another token called bags, and if you hold increments of 500, you get an additional share of coins that you're going to qualify for. And like I said, the floor affects it. So if you look right here, right now, everything is gauged off of the fact that it is 0.78 floor. So if you wanted this to go up, you could easily just come here and buy one of these NFTs, and then say they bought all of these and we got to 1 SOL floor. It's all based off of that now. So everybody would get a little bit bigger share from that category. I already did make an in-depth video on the KPIs, and I'll make sure that I post that in the description of this video on YouTube at youtube.com/@theblockchain. And then I will also just pin it at the top on YouTube. And then one other note is that say you have one of these assets and you're saying, hey, I'm going to list it. Maybe I get a good price. Every time that there is a snapshot, when you list something, it is not actually in your wallet, so you're not included in that snapshot. So if you do want to be included in these, make sure that your assets are not listed and that they are actually in your wallet. And that's a little update on the KPIs. Right now we're in the zone, so that's awesome, but we could still fall out before the end of the month and not get our airdrop or claim. And we have a 2-day window to claim that. So if people do not claim within those 2 days, the entire remainder gets burned. So make sure that you claim within those 2 days, and then you maximize the amount that you're going to be able to claim. I wanted to show you how to buy one of the coins that is a little bit more tricky to pick up because it is only available on one swap, and that is called bags. Increments of 500 bags will actually give you an additional share in the Gary Club airdrop or claim that comes at the end of every month, as long as we qualify for our KPIs or key performance indicators. Just go to gary.club and it will bring you to the swap. This is going to be the same site that you're going to use if you want to lock up any coins, as well as voting in the Gary Club DAO. But today we're just going to swap, and you could either swap using their custodial wallet. If you don't already have an account with Gary Club, then you can go create one and use their custodial wallet. Otherwise, you could just use their own connected wallet. I'm just using Phantom. It's pretty easy. It supports Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Polygon, so it covers a lot of different bases and everything that we're going to be talking about today. If your wallet does not automatically connect, you'll be able to do it just by clicking right here where it says swap. But my wallet automatically connected, and now I just need to pick my 2 different coins. So I am going to search for Gary. You could swap between any of the coins that are on these because there is an aggregator, which means that it's going to swap into whatever coins it needs to get you to the coin that you need to get to, if that makes any sense. But there is a trading pair directly with Gary to bags, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Bags. But if I wanted to, I could always say directly from Solana, and it would just trade into Gary and then into bags. And there's a whole bunch of other coins on here, including Dunk, my utility token. And always remember, you do need to have a little bit of Solana in your wallet no matter what, because this is on the Solana blockchain. You will need it for gas. So when you are swapping between these, it may be a very small amount, but you are going to need that amount. You will need a little bit of Solana no matter what. And just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice. Now, I'm going to buy 500 bags. You could either trial and error it and keep on adding in different amounts, or one thing I like to do is I like to flip these backwards where it says bags to Gary now. I'm just going to write in 500 and see what amount it tells me down here it would actually give me, which is 2,258 Gary. And if I just flip that back, I'll do 2,200 and let's say 61. That should give me about... There you go, 500 bags. And now all that I need to do is hit the swap button. Now, since this is my own wallet, I need to sign for this. Always double check the signature. It says gary.club, and now it is going to add 500 bags into my wallet, and it is going to remove 2,261 Gary. And like I said, there's a small Solana fee right here, and that is gas. That is not anybody charging it. It is in exchange for using the network, which we all pay. If you are using Social Connector or Gary Club's wallet, then you will not need to do this, and it will happen automatically because they sign for you. Now, when you're ready, hit confirm. It says the swap was executed, and you could view the transaction right here on SolScan. There we go. And now when I come down here and go to bags, and I have over 1,000, which means that I now have 2 seats in bags, which means I have 2 shares of whatever that airdrop is. I hope that's helpful to show you how to buy bags, because this is really the only swap that bags is currently available on. You could hold it in your wallet, but you will need to come back to the Gary Club swap in order to swap between bags and any other token. Just a heads up. Now, other tokens like bags or Dunk all have trading pairs with Gary. But did you know that you could actually trade Gary directly on multiple exchanges, including directly in the Phantom app, as well as on Radium or directly on Jupiter? There are a whole bunch of places that you could trade Gary. And we can see that a lot of people have been trading Gary. You can come over here to Bird Eye and see all of these buys and sells, and that is a healthy economy. You don't want everybody just buying. You want buys, sells, people adding liquidity into the liquidity pool. These are all signs of a healthy economy. And you can see Gary over the last month since we implemented our new KPI requirements, prices have been steadily going up. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just showing you these numbers. Now, you could always go and buy Gary directly at Gary.club, which is also the same place that you're going to lock up your Gary and also do voting in the DAO. But you could just go here, buy Sol, send it to your wallet, which you could find your wallet just by clicking this button at the top. It will give you your wallet address, and then you could just deposit the Sol, and then you could swap directly from Solana into whatever token you want, Gary or Dunk, or any of the other tokens that have trading pairs with Gary. And then you can come over here to Radium. For instance, you could just swap between Solana and Gary directly on Radium. Every platform has its own set of fees, so just keep that in mind. Phantom has its fees, Radium has its fees, and then also Jupiter is a great one. And one thing that I really love about Jupiter is it's really easy to do things like dollar cost average. And once you connect your wallet, it's really easy to do. I'm going to be releasing an in-depth video on how to do this, but all you do is you just come up here. By default, you come to swap. And if you come over here to DCA or dollar cost average, you're going to have this page and you're going to pick your base currency. I like doing it from USDC, but sometimes maybe you want to do it from Solana and you want to buy some other token. Maybe it's Gary like I'm showing you in today's video. And since Jupiter is an aggregator, which means that it's going to keep on trading and find a path in order to find this token, if I wanted to use a token like USDC and then trade directly into Gary, I'd be able to do that even though there is not a trading pair between USDC and Gary. What it will do is USDC will buy Solana, and then that Solana will be traded into Gary. You can see I have a couple different dollar cost averaging orders put in right here at the bottom, and I could always cancel these if I didn't want them to finish. But it's super simple in order to set this up. I would say the coin that I want. I don't have enough USDC to set it up right now, but if I put, say, $50 in here right now, if I wanted to have, say, one order every day, and I wanted to go for, let's say, 5 days, I'd put 5 orders once a day. And if I did $50, that would be a $10 order every single day, and it would just do it at the same exact time. There's also advanced features that you can click right here, and you can say, I'll only do it if it's between a certain price. And that way, if the price plummets, it's not just going to keep on buying. You could set those safeguards if you like. If you'd also like me to make a video showing you how to enable these pricing strategies, let me know. I want to make sure that I am making videos that you want me to make, so I am focusing my energy to help you make passive income with DeFi. And again, if you want to learn more ways about how I'm making passive income with DeFi, you could find some of my strategies over at DeFiEarner.com and join my community at dunkmedia.club. If you do have any questions about this, you could always leave them on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/@theblockchain. I do post these videos on multiple platforms, but YouTube is the best place for me to see your comments. Now, I'm going to get to the DAO in a moment and a new vote that just came up, but I wanted to start off by showing a really cool way that you are able to lower the supply of a project, but also provide utility at the same time. This is a marketing mastermind that Gary Henderson is holding. Now, he's given a couple different paths in order to get into this community. Now, you could either just pay the $100 a month, which it costs, or you could sign up to School, which is the platform it's on, through his affiliate link. As long as you stay a paying member and he gets his affiliate commission, you're going to be able to stay in that community. There's 2 other backdoor ways. One is to buy and then burn 10,000 Gary coin, and the other is to burn 4 Draft Tower NFTs. And why would you want to burn these NFTs or these coins? Well, you may want to burn them because those tokens are going to go up in value because of supply and demand. So if there is 100 of something in the world and you burn half of them, now the other half, if people hold value to them, could potentially be worth more. Again, I don't give financial advice, so you should always do your own research. I see this as a cool way to offer utility, but also shrink the circulating supply of a project. For instance, with Draft Tower, there are 7,609 draft that exist in the world. But as people burn those for utility, maybe there is down to 7,000. And if there's 7,000, that means that there are less people that could ever have one. And the same thing, we were talking about Gary Coin. There's only just shy of 25 million Gary Coin in the world. So if you burn 10,000 of them for utility, you can never create any more. These all are finite. There's no way to create more of these now that they've already been created. Yeah, you can go and create another project, but it's not going to be the same asset. And that's why there's different utilities that get put in place, like the DAO, like these airdrops, incentives for people to have them, and then incentives like this to burn them and destroy them, because there's no turning back once you have done this. Now, I've made a video, I'll post a link to it in the description of this one, showing exactly how to use Soul Incinerator to burn your NFTs. I burned 4 NFTs for this offer, as well as 1 more for another, because I see the value. I raise the amount of value for every single NFT that I own in that project, because I lowered the circulating supply. So those 4 plus the 1, those 5 that I burned can never come back, can never be sold, can never enter the market ever again. So now the circulating supply is forever lower. And several people have taken Gary up on this offer, because the way I looked at it is the cheapest one is 0.78. And if I want, I can go buy those 4 right here and then just burn them, or buy them and then burn the ones that you want. And again, I'm not giving you financial advice, but to me, that was actually a much cheaper price for a lifetime access to a community, which a lot of people are going to be paying $1,200 a year just to be in. And at the current price, this is actually a better deal. So when things are getting burned and you're lowering the supply in an organic way and not just burning it for the sake of burning, that makes me really bullish on a project. And if you want to learn more about things like this and how I'm making passive income with DeFi, doing strategies like this, just go to DeFiEarner.com, and I will share a resource with you showing different ways that I am making passive income with DeFi and a whole bunch of other fun stuff over there. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments on YouTube at youtube.com/@theblockchain. Now, there's one more big thing I wanted to go over today, and that is locking up some coins and then using them to vote in the DAO. To lock up the coins, obviously, you're going to need to get some Gary coin first. I showed you a couple different places that you can get them, either here at gary.club and use the internal swap. You could also get them over at Radium right here. You can get them over at Jupiter, even do some dollar cost averaging like I was showing you, or you can grab them directly in the Phantom swap directly in the app. Just remember, every exchange has its own set of fees. Make sure that you are doing your own research. I am not a financial advisor, and I do not play one on TV, so always double check everything. But I already have some Gary in my wallet. Again, I am using the Phantom wallet. You could use whichever Solana wallet you choose, but I am using Phantom. Gary Club also has a wallet called the Social Connector wallet, and if you'd like to use that, it is available. You just need to create an account by clicking swap, and then you can set up an account. Just know that when you do that, they hold your keys and they sign all of the transactions for you. But I'm just going to use my own wallet, which is the Phantom wallet, and I have connected the wallet. If it does not show swap right here, it might show connected. You just need to connect your wallet. But I already have the Gary that I need in my wallet, so I'm going to go over here to locked. Click there. Now my wallet is already connected. Again, if your wallet's not connected, you can click connect wallet and pick your wallet. And now it is connecting my wallet. And it shows the balance that is in my wallet, as well as other lockups that I have in this wallet. I'm going to go ahead and lock up an additional 1,000 Gary right here. And we have an option to pick our duration for some perks. Now, I'm going to pick 6 months, but you could also pick 1 month and you just get the 1,000 locked Gary. And locked Gary basically is a vote in the DAO. And then I can go to 3 months and I can get 1.8 for the same amount. So 1,800 votes instead of 1,000 for the same amount. Or I can pick 6 months and I'll get double. So I get 3,000 votes instead of 1,000. So I get 3 times the votes. So I'm going to hit lock Gary. Now I get this pop-up. There's always a small fee when you lock up in a DAO. And then there's locked Gary. There is the Gary that I am depositing. And there is a small transaction fee. That is gas. That is part of the network. Always double check that it is the correct URL. See, it says gary.club. And when you are ready, hit confirm. If this ever does fail because of the network going slow, just wait, refresh, maybe come back later. It went through for me, but if that does not happen, just come back and try again later. I'm going to hit OK. And now if I pop open my wallet, I could see that my Gary has gone down. And I could scroll over here. It says locked Gary. Now, what do we do with that locked Gary? I'm going to go over to voting, which is at the tab at the top. Now, you're going to need to connect your wallet again. Just come over here and click connect. If you are using your social connector wallet, you would just have this drop down and click social connector, but I am using Phantom, so I'm just click connect and it connected my wallet. Now first, I'm going to be able to deposit. I already have 31,500 locked Gary in this wallet, and I'm gonna hit deposit and deposit 3,000 more. Confirm, and I get this pop-up showing that it is going to remove 3,000 locked Gary in this wallet, small transaction fee, and hit confirm. And now I have increased the amount of locked Gary that I have, which increases the amount of vote that I have. There is a vote going on right now. I'm gonna click it right here so we can look at it and just get our vote in. Now it's a KPI update. It's talking about how people have kind of been gamifying some of the KPIs. And after this first month, we're probably going to be able to get that 250,000 Gary drop. But we have another metric that we want to decide if we want to make sure that it's a little bit more honest. I'd rather it be real metrics than gamified metrics, wouldn't you? And if it's all fake, I'd rather just be burned because that lowers the supply. We were talking about burning assets earlier, and this actually helps. So you can come here and you could read this, but it says it defeats the purpose of our KPIs. I propose a new metric that watches daily trading volume, which I agree with. If we take the monthly and divide it by the number of days and give us an average, for every day we don't hit the daily average, we add 50,000 Gary to the trading volume KPI target for that month. This will be effective in August if approved, which I'm bullish on this. I don't want any gamification of this. I want it to actually be real, because if it's gamified, that if people just stop doing it, people get burnt out, it just stops. I want it to be real. What I'm doing to vote is I'm gonna vote yes, stop the gamification, and I'm gonna hit vote. You could leave a comment right here if you'd like to, or you could just hit vote. You're gonna get a pop-up. When you vote in the DAO, there is a small fee that comes along with it. And part of the reason why there is a fee is because as somebody that is voting in the DAO, it funds the DAO by doing this. So as users of this DAO, we need to be able to support it. So there are fees that come along on the blockchain, and these little tiny slivers of Solana are what pays for those fees. So I'm going to make sure that this is correct. See voting.gary.club, that's correct. Always double check that. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, but I will tell you to always double check things. Hit confirm, and it is now processing the transaction. If you want to learn more about how I'm making passive income like this with DeFi, just go to defiearner.com. Also, leave a comment on YouTube at youtube.com/theblockchain. I do read comments on all the different platforms, but I see them mostly over on YouTube. There we go. My vote is in. It looks like most people are also voting yes. And that's it. And remember, if you wanted to use Social Connector, you would just had to click it right here, and you'd be able to connect your wallet with your login and password and two-factor if you have it turned on. And those are some of the bigger updates I wanted to go over. If you have any questions, again, drop them in the comments in the description of this video on YouTube at youtube.com/@theblockchain. You could also get a hold of me in my Discord. I'm always doing stuff in there at dunkmedia.club. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell. It really does help the algorithm to share this with more and more people so they can learn how to make passive income with DeFi just like you. Again, I'm Dunk. Keep creating, keep earning passive income with DeFi, and I will see you in the next video.